Hello everybody, I'm Thrash Maniac HD, and this is your NXT review for December 4th, 2013. Sorry for the delay on the review again. Just been doing different stuff here and there, but I'm here for the NXT review. And this week's episode I thought was a great episode. Everything was really good, I would say, in my opinion. I liked everything that happened on NXT this week, and let's get to the review, shall we? So we start off the show with an interview from earlier in the show. Antonio Cesaro getting interviewed for WWE.com about his little mishap with William Regal, and he was basically saying Regal needs to stay out of my business. Leo Kruger, of all people, comes in, and he says, Antonio, I'd like to thank you for what you did to me. You brought out a person inside of me that I haven't been in a while. Something like that, basically bringing out his vicious side again. And he's offering to join the Real Americans, and Cesaro's like, I'll talk to Zeb Coulter, but first I want you to... He was whispering something. It was something to do with Sami Zayn, because Leo Kruger had a match with Sami Zayn in that Beat the Clock challenge 2 weeks ago. And he lost. And I'll get to more about Kruger and Zayn here in a little bit, but now we move on to the show. NXT Women's Title match is the opener. Natalya taking on champion Paige. I thought this was the match of the show. I thought for a women's match, this was a great match. And it was a great match, I would say. Natalya and Paige meshed together really well. Paige picked up the win with the Paige turn. And that was that. Paige picks up the win over Natalya. Huge boost for her to possibly get on the main roster. And by the way, WWE, please let her come to the main roster before WrestleMania, please. You know. But after the match, they shook hands and hugged out of respect, which was pretty cool. So yeah, go Paige. And then we get a segment with Alexander Rusev and his hot manager, Lena, and Tyler Breeze, and they're saying about how much they hate Cassius Ohno. And I thought this was a pretty good segment to what I think is going to build up for either a tag match or a one-on-one match between Rusev and Cassius Ohno, which would probably then be Cassius Ohno's final match on NXT on TV. So, yeah. Or it could be a tag match, Rusev and Breeze versus Cassius Ohno and a tag partner. I don't know, we'll see next week. Then we get an interview with Mojo Rawley, and it's been a little while since Mojo Rawley's been on NXT in any way, shape, or form. And Sylvester LaFord and Scott Dawson show up, and they try to offer Mojo Rawley to join the Legionnaires, and... I thought it was a pretty good segment, but I don't know what's going to happen with this. I don't know if we're going to have a match between Dawson and Rawley or not. Because last time I checked, Scott Dawson was injured with a torn ACL, I believe. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with this, but yeah. And then we get a match between Aiden English versus a local guy. Aiden English won, and I thought once again another great utility match for Neville, Aiden English, to build him up more. And with his gimmick, I absolutely love it, and he can sing. So, and I love how the fans throw roses into the crowd. That's pretty funny. So yeah, go Aiden English. But then right after the match, when Aiden English is on the stage, and as he's on stage, out comes Antonio Cesaro, and he's calling out Byron Saxon, who's on commentary this week. He brings him out so he could apologize to him for getting angry at him for stepping on his We the People flag. And he apologizes, Byron accepts, and then Cesaro tries to get him to go, "We the people," and all he did was, "We the people." And Cesaro's like, "You think this is funny?" And then he starts beating down Saxon by pulling on his jacket. And this is my favorite part. He goes, "You are useless," and slaps him down the ramp. I thought that was pretty funny. "You are useless." And as he was doing that, he was saying, "Where's Regal? Where's Regal?" So he's obviously wanting to get to Regal. So yeah, I'm going to be interested to see what's going to happen with this whole thing between Cesaro and William Regal. If they're going to have a match, and if they are, it should be great. So yeah. And then we get an interview from last week with Sami Zayn after his match with Adrian Neville. I thought this was a great segment, but after his interview, he gets attacked by Leo Kruger, so this was the plan from Cesaro for Kruger to join the Real Americans, possibly. And speaking of Leo Kruger, third time, he's in a match next, and it's Leo Kruger versus Tyson Kidd. Tyson Kidd making his first appearance on NXT, and from the highlights since February, and this was during a time where I didn't watch NXT, I saw the highlight of Tyson Kidd on crutches back when he was injured. Kruger comes out and he starts trying to tear his knee apart. So Tyson gets his revenge match against Kruger. And for what it was, I thought this was a pretty damn good match. And I thought it was pretty cool. Leo Kruger puts the sharpshooter on Tyson Kidd. And as he had it on, out comes Sami Zayn to distract Kruger. And then Tyson comes back up and rolls him up. 1, 2, 3. Tyson Kidd wins over Leo Kruger. So obviously it was a great way to set up for what's going to happen next week between Sami Zayn and Leo Kruger when they go one-on-one. And it was a pretty damn good match between Tyson and Kruger. And a great way to build up for another Zayn-Kruger match, which anytime I see Sami Zayn, Leo Kruger go one-on-one, it's always a really good match, so I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, that's the announcement for next week, Sami Zayn, Leo Kruger. Then we get an interview from last week from Hunico and Camacho, who picked up the win over the Ascension, and they're saying how they're now the number one contenders, and they say, where we come from, we have to take what we want. And they say they're going to beat the Ascension and take the tag titles. I thought this was a pretty good interview to build up for that match. And I guess that's going to happen next week as well. Tag title match. Hunico and Camacho versus the champions, the Ascension. Now we get to the main event, the NXT title match. Bo Dallas defending against Adrian Neville. For under 10 minutes, I thought this was a really good match. And for those who say Bo Dallas cannot wrestle, you're wrong. He stood toe-to-toe with Neville in this match. Yeah, he has a lot to learn, but he's not a terrible wrestler. He's okay, but he still has a lot to learn. But it was pretty cool when the match ended. Neville jumps from the top. Boom! Big crossbody on top of Bo. And there was a count-out finish where Neville got in the ring first. Bo Dallas fell down. Adrian Neville wins by count-out, but doesn't win the title. I thought that was kind of stupid and a little bit, but it could build up for maybe a rematch between the two somewhere down the road. I don't know. We'll see on next week's episode. But I thought Adrian Neville Bo Dallas was a really good match for what it was. But yeah. And that does it for this week's episode of NXT. I thought this was one of the best episodes I have ever seen. Segment-wise, match-wise, entertainment-wise. This was a great episode and one of my favorites I've seen so far. And if you guys want to check it out for yourselves, as always, link in the description box for you guys to check it out on Hulu for free. So you don't have to sign up for Hulu Plus to watch it on the computer, but you do have to watch on like a PS3 or 360, whatever. But yeah. But yeah, that does it for NXT, and yes, I am rocking Iron Maiden, one of the greatest bands of all time, with Eddie. But anyways, I am Thrash Maniac HD. Peace.